Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video we are going to look at how to create an Azure policy. In this set of videos we are working on various labs for AZ900 exam, which is Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. In this playlist we have actually gone through and created one video for each of these different lab sections. So you already have 13 videos covering all these labs. If you have any trouble, please feel free to review the other lab videos as well. In this particular one we're going to look at the Azure policy. So let's get to it and let's get started. So let's just review what we're going to do. So we're going to create Azure policy. And Azure policy, you can think about this as a governance feature and also kind of a security feature as well in my mind. So here we're going to create a policy assignment, and then we are going to test the policy that we are going to create, and at the end we're going to delete that policy that we have created. So 3 main tasks, and there is some workflow how you do it. So let's get started. So we'll go to the Azure portal and we are going to search for the policy. Okay, so let's go to the Azure portal and let's search for policy, and that should show up. You click on it, it should take you to the policy resource blade, and this is the overview. And what it's telling you right now, my instance, my whole environment is 97% compliant. That's excellent. But I don't really have too many resources. So, and it's also telling you that there is a default subscription, something compliance state, there's some things that are not compliant. So there's one item that is not compliant. Anyway, so what you really, when you assign new policies, okay, there are two things: definitions and the assignments. Okay, in the definitions area where you define the policies, in the assignments you assign those policies. Okay, so for this lab, what is going, click on this definitions and review the list of built-in policy definitions. So let's go there, look at definitions, and let's see what kind of policies we have. And usually there are like literally hundreds of policies that are available to us. I don't really know the exact numbers, but I know that's a lot. If you look at just by category, look at how many different categories we have for pretty much every single service that Azure provides. You probably got a type of policy for that. So let's maybe try for a virtual machine, maybe, or compute. Okay, let's look at compute and see what kind of policies we have for the compute. Okay, like look at the audit Windows VM log analytics. You can extend this to have some more real estate, enable monitoring for security center, like whole bunch. So you can use any of these policies. You can pretty much create any of them and click on it, and you can assign. And when you assign to a scope. Where exactly do you want this policy to be applicable? We're probably going to do that in next section. So let's go back to the lab. So we kind of reviewed different policies. Notice allowed virtual machine SKU definition enables you to specify setup. So let's look for this particular policy, allowed virtual machine SKUs. Okay, so let's come back to policy definitions one more time and search for this one. Let's see if I don't have any over here. Well, let's go back to compute. Okay, so let's go back to compute. Oh, what do you do? Compute. Okay, that's refresh. Oh, I have this selected. Okay, so in here, this policy that they're looking for, the name didn't match, so we have to probably do some digging. Allowed virtual machine SKU, allowed virtual machine SKU. So let's go back and just look for it. Allowed virtual machine SKU. Okay, let's do a m. Okay, that's now at least giving us the VMs. Let's try SKU. There we go. All right, so allowed virtual machine size SKUs is what we're looking for. So if we click on this policy, so what this policy does, this policy enables you to specify a set of virtual machine size SKU that your organization, you can copy and you can actually paste it over there if you can read, that your organization can deploy. Okay, that's the goal of this policy. All right, so return to the policy page. Under authoring selections, select assignments. So go back to policy definition and go to assignments. Okay, that's where we are. In the assignment, an assignment is a policy that has been assigned to take place within a specific scope, what I already told you about. So click assign policy at the top of the policy assignments page. Okay, so over here, not initiative but assign policy is what you need. Initiative is usually a collection of policies, and you can create your own initiative and then assign the whole initiative, which would be a collection of policies. For this lab, we're just gonna work with one policy, so I'm gonna click on assign policy. So that's gonna give me another window where we're gonna configure what we want to do. So in this one, ensure that your subscription is selected, and then look for allowed location. This is the policy that we are going to apply. So policy definition, if you click on that one, look for allowed location. So we found it. So allowed location, you can click on it and you select it. So this policy is now selected. Assignment name, usually whatever policy definition that would show up as your assignment name. If you want, you can change it. Let's see if they're asking us to change the name of it. This allowed policy definition will specify a location into which the resources must be deployed. So if you want, you can say only allowed location is the East US, because East US is my favorite region. And if you try to deploy it anywhere else, this policy will stop you from deploying your resources. Okay, so if you come down, switch to the parameters tab and click on the arrow at the end of the allowed location. So over here, okay, all right, let's over here I'm gonna look at it one more time. This looks good. Policy enforcement is enabled. That is another thing that you have to make sure that you're actually enabling. I'm just gonna create this, and before I create it, I'm gonna go to the parameters and allowed location, which location they want to allow. Let's see, allowed location, and from the subset choose Japan West. They didn't choose East. Well, we'll just look for Japan, Mr. Japan. So Japan West is the only place where I can deploy this particular deploy resources, okay, virtual machines. And I think that's all. So now we can go ahead and create this particular policy, and the allowed policy assignment is now listed on the policy assignment pane. It's in place, enforcing the policy at the scope level we specified. So just remember that allowed location, if you go back for the scope, we are applying it to the whole subscription. Okay, if we wanted, we could have gone into a resource group and apply it at that level, but for this policy we're applying on the whole subscription. So nobody nowhere can create a VM that is not in the Japan West. Okay, so let's come back now. Test allowed policy. Now let's storage account. So let's try to create, actually this applies to not only just VM, to any resource. So now you can come, hold on. So review and save. I don't think I need to do that because I didn't change anything. so that's good. So let's come back over here and let's just try to find the storage account, and we're gonna try to create a new storage account and not select Japan West. I think that's what they will try to do. So we'll say that we're gonna try to create in a new resource group. Okay, and storage account name, you give something. So I expect this process is gonna fail, and West US is fine. Let's change it to East US just to be completely similar with the lab that we are doing. And then you try to create, and we expect this to fail. So let's prove that. So if I do review and create, it's running the validation. It's weird that validation is still successful, but then when we create it, it's probably gonna say, yeah, deployment fail. What I think, the validation should also tell you that it's gonna fail, so you don't go to the next create step. But I think that's an improvement idea I have for Microsoft, but they may have a reason to do this way that I don't know. But it clearly tells you this was disallowed by policy definition, where the allowed location, only allowed location is you are using a location that is not allowed. Okay, so it's forbidden. So let's come back. Now delete this policy. So how do you get rid of this policy? So it's very simple. So you go back, go home, you can click on policy. The policy is going to come up. So allowed location, you click on it, and I think right over here you have the nice little delete assignment button available. You just click on it and you say, yeah, get rid of the policy. So, and that's what we have done over here, and confirm you wish to delete, and that's it. So they're saying some common scenarios where allowed locations policy can be useful for cost tracking. So you can have different subscription for different regional location. The policy will ensure that all resources are deployed in the intended region to help cost tracking. Or compliance. For the compliance, you may have a specific requirement that your data has to reside within a certain region or within a certain boundary. And using this policy, you can do that as well. So there's hundreds of use cases. So just be familiar with this policy. But hopefully this has given you a good starting point. So that's the end of the video. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave your comment, please. If you're studying for the exam, good luck. See you in the next video.